name is Sharon, and soon I will be debt-free for keeps.
1-800-936-5496.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
With NWKS Radio News, I'm Connor Schuh. Last week, Citizens Health completed construction of its new hospital in many services previously at the old hospital that was next door, relocated to the new Citizens Health. The move is estimated to take around 3 weeks total, so it'll be done pretty soon. The new facility also allows for Citizens Health to provide additional services with the extra space. Regarding the hospital's health strategy officer, Benny Nyblock said, we want to make it so people don't have to drive to big cities to get care. Simple as that. Nyblock stressed the importance of keeping medical care close by, saying the company wants families to be able to get care at home. The hospital's construction was 2 years in the making, kicked off with a $108 million grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. For these and other stories, go to nwksradio.net.
Arizona State getting it out quickly.
After a record-breaking 70-degree Sunday, today highs will remain well above average, reaching into the upper 60s. Under partly sunny skies, northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be clear, west winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and lows around 32. Tomorrow and Wednesday, like today, warmer than normal, with highs in the low to mid-60s and lows 25 to 30. Westerly winds a bit breezy on Tuesday at 10 to 20 miles per hour, and lighter on Wednesday, 5 to 15. Thursday will transition to colder temperatures in the 40s. Potential winter storm beginning with wintry mix of rain and snow Thursday evening and changing to all snow Friday morning. Snow totals of 1 to 3 inches are possible. Friday's highs will be in the 30s, lows around 20, with north winds gusting 20 to 40 miles per hour. Wintry travel conditions are possible with blowing snow and icy spots on roads. This meteorologist Chris Schromick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
When you gotta go, but there's nowhere to go, who you gonna call? Topside Portables and Pumping, that's who. Weddings, job sites, farm parties, they've got clean, reliable porta potties that don't stink, literally. And if your septic tank smells worse than last year's chili cook-off, they'll pump it out fast. No mess, no fuss. Family owned, Heartland values, always ready. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. When Tootie calls, they answer.
Farmers, you insure your truck, your shop, and your crops. So why would you not insure your center pivot? Especially with diversified agri-insurance from Western Sprinklers. Even if it's 34 years old, damaged, or destroyed, they'll insure it. Diversified agri-insurance lets you insure your equipment, not just at its present value, but for its replacement costs. Contact Western Sprinklers in Colby with any questions about your current policy or to get your irrigation system covered today.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
At Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic, they believe in promoting healthier living through compassionate quality care. From state-of-the-art maternity care to life-saving emergency services, their dedicated team is there for you and your family. Whether it's managing diabetes, navigating recovery, or receiving specialized treatments, they're committed to your well-being. Discover the difference a community-focused hospital can make. Visit rayhospital.org today to learn more. Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic. Your health, our priority.
New year, same good taste. Start the new year with your favorite drinks from Lobo Liquor. Whether you're toasting new beginnings or just restocking from the holidays, they're there to help. Lobo Liquor, because your resolutions deserve a little refreshment. With Christmas and the New Year upon us, John Weigel and the crew at Weigel Concrete would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. They thank you for doing business with them this past year and look forward to serving you with all your concrete needs in the year ahead. Again, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Weigel Concrete.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
And Connor Schuh.
He's a new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Covering it all from the preps.
He's at the 10, the 5, he dives for the end zone. He's in! Touchdown, Cowboys!
To the pros.
Line drive, left field, base hit. Here comes McMahon. He'll score. Ball game.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the Insurance Agency, Pest Away LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work. It's DeBonsa who brings it the other way. DeBonsa had it stolen. Here's PJ. He will drive and lay it in to tie the game.
Now Pickett's in trouble in the end zone. He barely gets out to avoid a safety, but he's sacked. Chris Jones.
McDowell, a lob, DP, a jam, a 40-foot feed from Jamari McDowell, and Peterson fires it home.
And the Huskers knock off Michigan State. Move over, top 10. Make room for Nebraska basketball. Make room for Daddy.
Denver rushes forward. Lance in the pocket, throws a caution route, deflected and intercepted. Intercepted and down the west sideline. This is going to be inside the 15, inside the 10, and that is a touchdown for Jaquan McMillan. Like him or not, the number 1 seed this year in the AFC is the Denver Broncos.
Good Monday morning, everybody. We are back and rolling here on the Morning Blitz on this Monday, January the 5th. So glad you decided to get up with us and join us here on what's going to be another nice day here on the High Plains. Temperature is going to be in the mid-60s. In fact, a couple days of mid-60s before we will actually see some, I would consider, January temperatures coming up here in a couple of days, including a Saturday temperature I saw of 29. Something about 29 degrees in January just seems right. And I don't know why. It always seems like that it's not the first, it'd be the second weekend of the year. And it's been this way for the last couple of years. It always seems like it's the coldest time of the year. My wife has a Christmas party, Connor, that for her work that's on the same weekend, at least it has been the last couple of weekends, and every single one of those, it is frigid cold. And so
if 29 is the most frigid we're getting here, that's not too bad.
Well, I'm telling you, anything is going to be better than the 70.
Yes.
Even yesterday, it was shorts and T-shirt weather again.
It was really bizarre.
I'm sure. I mean, yeah, I once again, 29 degrees being the high, I'm thinking that's, there's going to be some days where you might be in the teens, but you can probably count those on maybe one or two hands at absolute most throughout the course of a 365-year span. So, yeah, I don't want to sit here and say like, this is the way it's going to be. I mean, but I'll take my 29 degree temperatures. I'm going to take those today over the 70s for what it is January. Once again, I was visiting with a friend of mine yesterday, and she goes, yeah, these type of temperatures, there should be a beach involved.
None of those around here.
No, none of those around here, at least the type of beaches that you're thinking. But anyway, back after a long weekend. How was the weekend? Refreshing?
I would say so. Yes, got some good basketball at the start with Colby, and then kind of rode that momentum the rest of the way.
That's right. Busy Friday for Connor Schuh with a little high school basketball. A little bit of breaking news for our show. Just saw, as of 30 seconds ago, the Browns have fired Kevin Stefanski.
I knew you were going there. I was waiting for it.
He joins the likes of Raheem Morris as the only 2 NFL coaches that have been fired at this point in time. Am I right on that? I think
so. There's been some GMs that have been canned, but I think they're the only 2 head coaches.
Do you feel okay about this?
Yes. I could have gone either way on him because it's crazy to say it. He is the best head coach of the new Browns since 1999. Granted, he brought us to 2 playoff years. I mean, one year I think we won the AFC North, and you love him for that, but it seems like the past couple of years, him and just the offense he's been running with the personnel hasn't really been working. So I think they kind of needed a scapegoat, so they just cut him off. And I think he could have succeeded if we let him stay a little longer, try and work with Shadur and company for next season. But it sucks, but you had a feeling it was going to happen.
Be intrigued to see who they want to go after. There were some people who are really, including I saw last night on NFL Primetime that Chris Berman was like, "Don't fire that guy. He's good."
Yeah, exactly.
But we'll see. And then I saw the Raiders like 5-12. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's good. I don't know.
Record doesn't.
I don't follow it.
Coach,
I follow as close as I need to probably. So anyway, full show ahead today. We'll have weekend winners and losers coming up in just a matter of moments. We will also talk to Nick Athen as the NFL playoffs are set. Boy, a crazy finish on Sunday Night Football last night as the last-second field goal from I predicted it. I said, you watch, the Ravens are going to go down the field, and they're going to find a way to get points and win this game after Chris Boswell missed the extra point to make it a 3-point game. Well, Tyler Loop had a field goal at the gun to win it for the Ravens and send them to the postseason, pushed her off to the right. The best thing was after the game, I don't know if you stuck around later in the telecast, I left, but my wife saw it, and she told me, she goes, check this out, Ross. They had a priest came by and was throwing holy water on the end zone there in Pittsburgh, and that was the same end zone that the ball went right of the upright.
Oh, my goodness. Of course. I missed that.
That is hilarious. Anyway, get us your weekend winners and losers. I know listener Michael's going to be chiming in if he hasn't already, discussing about the Broncos and their number 1 seed. Congratulations, Michael. We appreciate you listening as always. But yes, let's get to our weekend winners and losers. FB Bank text line is open throughout the program.
The holiday season.
Whoops, let's try this. Hit this button instead. There we go.
There are 2 kinds of people in this world.
There's winners and there's losers.
Which ones were which this past weekend?
I want winners.
Loser! You're a loser!
It's the weekend's winners and losers on the Morning Blitz.
Want to be a winner, be a winner.
My producing skills have gone downhill badly the last couple of days. Let's see if we can get this train on the tracks. Weekend winners, Connor Schuh.
I think I'm stealing one from you right here with my first, because I can just see by your quarter zip, you're probably going to say this. Nebraska ball. I mean, come on. I think I'm actually bought in at this point. They just beat Michigan State by 2. It was, I mean, unfortunately, I didn't get to see the game, but it was incredible. I got home from the Colby game, and I was watching the post-game interview with Fred Hoiberg, and he just seemed so relieved that they got that one, and you could hear the crowd behind him. They still had, I think that place was still full like 20 minutes after when he was doing the post-game interview, and you could really feel that crowd and how they fueled Nebraska, and they're just behind that team, and for good reason. They're 14-0. This is probably, I think you could speak to this a little better than me, but just looking at the history of Nebraska basketball, this is probably the best they've looked and the best they've played, best record, what have you, since probably the 90s or since ever.
Yes,
honestly.
Since the early 90s, probably like 91, 92, 93.
Yeah.
And when this was the last time Nebraska was this good looking of a basketball or had the type of basketball program that you're seeing right now.
Exactly. And they're doing it with just a bunch of guys you wouldn't think about. Bryce Sanford, their second leading scorer. I remember him with Iowa, and he was like the number 5 guy on the team. His brother, Peyton Sanford, was really the guy there. He was averaging like 18 a game, and Price was averaging maybe like 7 points a game on the bench. No one really knew about him, and here he comes to Nebraska. He's averaging 16, 17 a game, and he's just getting it done. Rink Mast is awesome. All these guys, I mean, it's really incredible to watch just because it was really unlikely. I mean, no one thought they were going to be bad by any means, but I don't think anybody had Nebraska pinned as a top 3 team in the Big Ten, and that's exactly what they are right now.
Yeah, they're playing amazingly right now. The crowd was electric on Friday night, although the Peacock telecast didn't really do it justice. I feel like they didn't have the crowd mic turned up enough, and it was you could hear the broadcasters clear as day, and that was fine. But I'm one of those believers, like, you need to have the crowd mic turned up more. You need to be able to feel that crowd, and you could really not tell that on the broadcast, but I had people, friends and family that were at the game. They said it was absolutely nuts. They stormed the floor afterwards, which, Nebraska players were not exactly happy about that because they're like, well, we expected to win this game, so don't storm the floor. But
it's your biggest.
You know what? Husker fans have suffered enough. Their football program is stuck in mediocrity, if not below mediocrity at this point in time. And this is a football state that people love their football program, but the football program's not carrying it. So to get this men's basketball team to go out there and do what it's doing, people of the state who love their Cornhuskers, no matter what the sport is, are going to go berserko. And it was a fun game to watch. My wife, after the game, was like, I'm surprised you're not more excited. And I guess I was surprised, too, that I wasn't more excited. I guess I kind of thought, well, if they're going to be this top 15 team, they need to win this type of game, particularly at home. If it's on the road and you win something like that, that's more impressive. Like, I still think the Illinois win on the road is more impressive than this one against Michigan State.
That's fair.
It's more impressive. Nonetheless, 14-0, best start since the early 90s. They could be. I don't know if they're going to be, but they could be in the top 10 today when the new rankings come out. And if they're in the top 10, I mean, that's just something I don't know if I ever could have fathomed as a Nebraska fan. Is the men's basketball team being in the top 10 in the nation in basketball programs. But this is the biggest thing I want to get along with this. This is what happens when you have a little bit of patience with a head coach. This is what can happen. When you go through this cycle, and the football team needs to take notes on this, Nebraska's football team, when you go through a cycle of where you bring in a new coach and you let them go after 3 or 4 years, you're not really giving anybody a time to figure things out. Fred Hoiberg came to Nebraska, and his first 3 years, they were bad. Like, he had 12 wins, 12 or 18 wins at most combined over the first 3 years. It was really, really bad. And there were people like, he doesn't need to be here anymore. I need to let him go. There's people in the media saying that, get rid of him. Well, you know what? Fred Hoiberg learned, first and foremost, that the Big Ten is not the Big 12. We got to do things differently. And he tried to get these certain pieces to come in and play together. It didn't work. He changed philosophy. He went a little bit more defensive-minded. He brought in a guy who really knows defense in Nate Lenzer and Ernie Ziegler, and he figured it out. And guess what? Now he's got a team that he knows and can compete at this level, and you're seeing the results. Sometimes, as hard as it is in sports, you have to have some patience, and a coach may flounder for a year or two because they're trying to figure out how to win in this certain league, especially if they've never been there. And each league is different, and it takes time to learn. Once again, Kurt Cignetti is the outlier. He comes in, and it just all works. But some places you just need to give a guy time to figure out what works and then let them do their work, and you're seeing it happen with Nebraska. By the way, tonight it is the Blitz Bowl. Nebraska, Ohio State on the hardwood. We'll have more on that in the walk-off coming up. So we'll get to that coming up. But yes, I would agree. Nebraska basketball, a winner of the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to throw in a winner of the weekend here, and I am going to put in what happened last night in Division III football. Division III football. So, University of Wisconsin River Falls were crowned your Division III National Football Champions yesterday. And this is an unbelievable story. Prior to 2021, Wisconsin River Falls had 19 straight losing seasons. So just 5 years ago, they had lost 19 consecutive seasons in a row. The Falcons' record in that span was a very impressive 51-137. Now they are the Division III national champion. They beat, I think it's NC Central or something
Central,
like that. Yeah, beat them. A team that had won 3 of the last 5 national championships. So they get the win. This is the first D3 playoff appearance for River Falls since 1996. So it had been a while since they'd even been in the playoffs, and they won it all. It's their first, whatever the conference is, WIAC, W-I-A-C, outright title since 1985. and its first ever national title game and their first ever national championship. By the way, North Central this was just their 4th loss since 2019. Fourth.
Wow.
So once again, Wisconsin River Falls Division III football national champs, winners of the weekend. No matter how bleak things may look at times, folks, there's always a chance to turn it around. And so there you go. Winners of the weekend, Wisconsin River Falls.
Good on them. I wanted to watch a little bit of that game, but it just kind of got away from me watching Sunday Night Football, and I ended up diverting to Seinfeld for a little bit.
Oh, Seinfeld.
I was getting fed up with watching Aaron Rodgers, so you know what it is.
I hear you. Weekend winners here on the Morning Blitz.
How about Myles Garrett? He sends the Browns off on a very nice note. Even with Stefanski getting fired, things end on about as positive of a note as you can. He gets the sack record, 23 in a season, and it was a couple of games in the making. There was the big story last week that Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers were supposedly trying to avoid him getting the sack record, which, watching that full game, it did kind of look like that. I think there's some bearing to that argument, but he finally gets it, curls around, and you see how quickly he gets, if you're watching this, you see how quickly he gets off the ball there. Apparently, I saw a stat that it took him 0.17 seconds to get off the ball as soon as it got snapped, which is like apparently about the best you can get without it being not a false start or an offsides. So that just speaks to how good he is. 23 sacks. He's probably going to be the best pass rusher of all time once it's all said and done. I don't think that's crazy to say, and maybe the best Brown ever once it's all said and done as well, from the old to the new Browns. And on top of that, you got to give the team some props too, winning 2 straight to end what's just been a disastrous year with the defense really coming through with Myles Garrett at the helm. So you're sending Kevin Stefanski off in a very positive way with a big win against 2 division rivals, and it's all capped off with Myles Garrett setting a record, because, I mean, I can only imagine it would have been a lot more bleak if he did that in a loss. I think we would have just accepted it, but it's very nice that he got that in a win, I would say.
Yeah, obviously he had to have it yesterday or it wasn't going to get done. And boy, you'd be sick to your stomach if you're going to end up a half game behind the record and you don't get there. And he had it, with a couple games to go. And so I remember sitting here a few weeks back and thought, he's got this record in the bag. And it got close. I mean, it was close. But he got it done. He's a freak. I mean, just look at him. He is just he's a Greek god out there when it comes to his physical looks. And he is a unbelievable athlete for his size. And that's a reason why he is the sack king this year and the single season record holder now. Someone was talking yesterday on another broadcaster saying, he could go and break his own record still.
It's possible.
He's 30 years old. He maybe could get a couple more years in of being at the very peak of his abilities. He could go out and he could possibly, rack up, maybe get to 25, which, let's face the facts, it should be easier to break the sack record in these days than it was maybe in the 70s and 80s and even in the 90s, because they're throwing the football more. There's more chances.
This year it's kind of changed. I was looking at something and it compared like the leading rushers from this year to 2016, just throwing out a random year. And there are, I think it's like 16,000 yard rushers this year, and there were only like 10 back in 2016. So I think the ball's being run a little bit more. That's just one stat. So I don't know, but I was also thinking about the rules around the quarterback are a little bit more tailored to save the quarterback.
Yeah,
so
sure.
There's a lot more roughing the passer penalties now than ever. So I think that's the other thing that I think kind of stands in their way.
I'm not trying to take anything away from him. What he did was great. But, once again, if you look at some of those guys that got it done like in the 80s and 90s, and they were running the ball, I think, way more even than today, that was still an impressive showing there. But I also believe tackle play has improved quite a bit over it's become more of a, that's what behind the quarterback, it's the number 2 most important position on your football team, probably, is left tackle. So The question is, if you have a left-handed quarterback, is the right tackle just as important as left tackle? I would think so.
Yeah, because that's your blind side if you're a lefty.
That's what I would say. So anyway, weekend winners and losers. Couple of quick ones for me. You stole a couple from me. Denver Broncos, number 1 seed in the AFC for the first time since 2015. They beat the Chargers 19-3. Big pick 6 from Jaquan McMillan kind of, I thought, sealed that game yesterday with the win over the Chargers, who weren't playing a lot of starters. But hey, Broncos earned the number 1 seed. And I think the biggest thing is this, as Michael, of course, chimes in with his winners of the weekend being the Broncos. To me, the big thing is that you've got to is that when you look at the Broncos, you're going to have to go to Mile High and win, and I don't think that's going to be real easy for anybody to do. If I was a Broncos fan, I'd say the Patriots probably scare me the most of a team that could come and beat me in my own house. But I mean, if you're Denver, you're at home, the air's thinner, it's going to be colder, one would assume. You've got the advantage all the way there to get that number 1 seed. You've got it now. Who's going to come to your house and knock you off is the real question. And I don't know if there's any team that's going to be able to do that with really any ease. So congratulations to Broncos getting the number 1 seed as a weekend winner.
Okay, I've got one last quick one for winners since we're starting to run a little low on time. I got Indiana football in the transfer portal. They went and got some dudes this weekend when they're in the middle of the portal. So it seems like their strategy is going to be get one of the best transfer quarterbacks. First Curtis Rourke, then Mendoza, and now Josh Hoover from TCU.
Yep.
If anyone knows about Big 12 football, that dude can sling it. They also got Turbo Richard, who is a running back from Boston College. Not a great team, but he was one of their few bright spots, not to mention Notre Dame D lineman Josh Burnham. He's pretty all right. And then finally, Kansas State defensive lineman Toby Osunsami. And I remember we were talking with Cole Carmody as that he might be a guy who could come back, but unfortunately not. So there you go. He's a Hoosier, and the Hoosiers have loaded up.
I tell you what, it's almost kind of sickening from being another fan of another team in the same conference is to watch them just go out and pluck who they want from the portal. It's amazing.
Has Nebraska made any moves in the portal?
They have they got a quarterback, Kevin Minchie, the Notre Dame backup.
Oh, Kenny Minchie. He's actually supposed to be pretty good.
I don't get me wrong. I'm very excited about Kenny Minchie. I think it's great, but I want to see more linemen. I need more offensive linemen, more deep. I got on my deal last week about this. I need more big bodies. That's what wins games. Big bodies. Need more of them in the portal. And so I'm waiting to see big bodies drop. But yeah, Kenny Minchie is who they got as the quarterback. And I love the pickup. I think it's great, but big bodies are what wins. A couple more quick winners on the local sports side. How about Jordan Jones? Colby Eagle, 40 points and eclipsed the 1,000 career point total on Friday night with the win over Larned. He deserves a shout out. Great performance. 40 points.
I'll just throw in my 2 cents just because I saw that one.
He was firsthand.
They left him in the game. They're like, go get your 40. And he went and he got that 40. I mean, he was automatic from the mid-range. He was getting to the basket a lot, kind of doing his thing, but the 3-ball wasn't falling as much for him. He only hit 2, but didn't really need him. It was crazy.
Yeah, a dominant game. And then also former Goodland Cowgirl Telexa Weeder on our FNB Bank text line, and I'm glad this texter brought this up. But Telexa Weeder, what has she done the last 2 games at Fort Hays State? Well, it was Thursday night. She had 45 points. 45, which ties the record for the most points in Fort Hays State women's basketball history, 45 points. Followed it up with 29 points. Once again, I hate to toot my own horn, but I said it last year, about 10 months ago. I said, it will not shock me if Telexa Weeder is the MIAA Player of the Year next year, and it's looking like that is going to be the case. She is having an unbelievable junior campaign, is Telexa Weeder. 45 points, followed by a 29-point performance yesterday. Okay, on to losers of the weekend. I've only got a couple, so what do you got?
Yeah, I do as well. Kansas Hoops, first and foremost. I mean, losing to UCF isn't the worst thing, but how that Darren Peterson situation was handled in the game was very bizarre. He dropped 26 in the first half, and it's like, oh, he's going to go and score 40. And he looked, from what I saw, he looked fine. I didn't get to see the whole game, but it looked like he had his legs under him. But all of a sudden in the second half, he barely plays and he's sitting off to the end of the bench by himself and he looks healthy, but Bill Self has just shrouded this thing in mystery. He says, oh, he has cramps. Oh, he's on a minutes restriction. Oh, he's a little banged up, saying different things consistently about his status. And no one really knows what to think about what's up with Darren Peterson here. And it's really hurting Kansas because they've still won games. And you saw it right there with that alley-oop. That guy still has some springs. Like, he's clearly healthy here, but it's just,
I think
understand.
he was healthy for the first half. I'm guessing Bill Self said they were hoping to keep him on a little bit of a minutes restriction throughout the game. The problem was the game was tight and they needed him. And so and I think they also had a guy get in foul trouble. And so they needed him to keep playing. And that resulted him he's not in game shape. And so he wears down. And then by the time they get the second half, he's hurting and worn out, or he's getting those cramps back again. And then they're like, okay, we can't put him in there. Otherwise we could lose him for even longer. They're just playing with fire is Kansas basketball. Bizarre. They're playing with fire. The problem is they want to do what's best for the kid. And that's what you need to do with Darren Peterson because he's a super talented guy, but he's not going to be able to stay on the floor long enough to help guys out. He's just not.
I guess not.
And that's going to be a problem. And I'm starting, and I can't believe I'm saying this, and this may be a question for another day. We don't have to dive into it deeply, but is KU basketball just a middle-of-the-road Big 12 program now?
They might be.
It kind of feels like it a little bit. And it kind of makes me wonder, like, if they were to just go away, you're not going to be able to do this, but if you were to just not play Darren Peterson and just go with the lineup that you had when you won those 3 games in Vegas and all that stuff, maybe you'd be better off. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a bad look for Kansas basketball. I can, when you hear Bill Self talk, you hear what he wanted to do. The rest of his team just can't because they play 2 different styles when Peterson's on the floor and when they don't, and when he's not on the floor, it's completely different and it doesn't work as good. And so, yeah, it's Bill Self's in a pickle,
to say the least.
Bill Self is in a pickle. And once again, Kansas with the loss to UCF there on Saturday afternoon, 81-75. One more. I was one of my losers as well. I'm glad we're on the same page today, but I got one more loser of the weekend. How about the New York Football Jets, who had a ridiculous stat recorded in the history books yesterday? The Jets became the first team in NFL history to not record an interception. The first NFL team to not record interception in a season.
Crazy.
Folks, the season is longer now than it was ever before. It's longer now. They still didn't record interception. Their head coach is a defensive back, Aaron Glenn. They don't have one.
Crazy.
One. They didn't fall into one. Just you see things all the time. Ball gets batted down and, here comes a guy out of nowhere and picks off. Not a single pick. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
New York Jets defense loses the weekend. Aaron Glenn, by the way, going to keep his job. Not be one and done. He's keeping his job.
I'm always of the belief that coaches should get at least 2 years.
I'm fine with it. I'm not against it, but man,
bad.
The Jets look awful.
They're so bad. I mean, next year we'll see if they can get any better. But I got a quick final loser. The Nuggets have lost back-to-back games without the Joker, and that includes a 12-point loss to the lowly Nets. And of course, former Nugget MPJ Michael Porter Jr. dropped 27 in that win, just to rub a little salt in the wound. But they're not a total loser because Joker is apparently his recovery is going great from the bone bruise, and he's already on the bike doing some stair exercises. So that's looking better, but they got to stay afloat without him or else they're going to dip a little bit in those standings.
You wish you had MPJ now is what you're wishing. You wish you had that now with no Joker on the floor.
Yes.
All right, let's take a break. Weekend winners and losers there on the Morning Blitz. Nick Athen, ChiefsBlitz.com, joins us. The NFL playoff picture is set. We'll talk with Nick about that next. This is the Morning Blitz.
The holiday season just got brighter at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Wrap up the year with 0% for 36 months on all 2026 Chevrolet Trailblazer and Equinox models. Or slide into a new GMC, 1.9% for 36 months on a 26 Arcadia, plus up to $7,000 in rebates on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation with Turbo Max with eligible trade-in. Big savings, big style, and big holiday cheer. Only at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Stop in today or visit online at hurlchev.com.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pestaway in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pestaway today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, Jared Law with the Andersons in Overland Park, Kansas, with your morning market update. It's Monday, January 5th. March corn up 3 1/4 at 4.40 3/4. May corn up 2 1/4 at 4.48 1/4. July up 2 1/2, 4.54 1/2. December up 1 3/4 at 4.60 1/4. Soybeans on the march up 9 1/4 at 10.55. May up 8 3/4 at 10.67 1/4. July up 7 1/4 at 10.79 1/4. November up 5 at 10.67 3/4. KC wheat on the march up 1 3/4 at 5.16 3/4. May up 2 1/4 at 5.30 1/4. July up 1 3/4 at 5.43 3/4. Chicago wheat up 1 1/4 at 5.07 3/4. Feeder cattle finished last week 356.10. Live cattle 236 even. Lean hogs 84.10. Crude oil futures up 52 cents a barrel at 57.84. Gold up 95.40 at 4,409.80. Silver up $4.12, 74.68. U.S. dollar index up 32 points at 98.48. Dow futures up 82 at 48,867. S&P futures up 24, 6,924.50. Need to move into cash grain or want to talk about risk management, you can reach out to myself, Jared Law, Tom Sudo, or Tyler Gosch, 913-748-3000. If you're out in Colorado, you can reach out to John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
If you're buying or selling cattle, make your first stop livestockmarket.com. Bred cows, heifers, pairs, bulls and frozen genetics, even feeder calves. You'll find them all at livestockmarket.com. Livestock Market features private treaty sales, online auctions, and live production sale bidding. You'll also find horses, sheep, goats, and hay. Check out the free Livestock Market magazine wherever you pick up Tractor House and download the Livestock Market mobile app today.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, and cleaner American fuel. This message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Miss the weekend action?
Yes, you caught me.
No worries. We've got all the highlights and lowlights covered.
Hey, okay, well, catch me up.
This is the Morning Blitz with Russ Volkmer.
We're back on a Monday show, about 20 minutes to the top of the hour. Michael chiming in on the FA Bank text line, going with our KU basketball conversation. He says if Trey White could get going, it wouldn't have to worry about Darren Peterson. White's been a huge disappointment. Rock chalk, he says. Let's bring in Nick Athen, our good friend from ChiefsBlitz.com. He's also a KU follower and fan. What are your thoughts on that there, Mr.
Yeah, it'd be nice if Trey White could fill the basket with the basketballs and earn the money he got from the NIL. But yeah, I heard your comments about KU. I think they are. I think they're an above average team. I don't think they're elite. The this whole Peterson thing, this is everything wrong with college sports right now. You've got a high paid player, you've got a family unit, you've got agents. This is Bill Self's acting like he's a an NBA or NFL coach. The kid needs to play, period. And I don't necessarily think he's out of shape. I kind of disagree with you there. I think that I don't see enough of the want to. I mean, he's either injured or he's not injured. He's on a pitch count or he's not on a pitch count. If he's on a pitch count, I think the guys in the locker room probably would have a pretty good idea. And after the game, they're like, we didn't know anything like that took place. So I think Bill Self's in a tough spot because I think family is driving his playing time right now because they want him to be the number one pick. He's going to be the number one pick regardless if he's limping, on draft day. But this just doesn't smell good. It reminds me of Remy Martin. Now that turned out pretty good. If he just plays great for 6 games in the NCAA basketball tournament, then who cares what his career is at Kansas? But that's about the only thing I think it's going to salvage his reputation.
You think? I mean, I don't know about you, but from my perspective, it seems like maybe there's a little bit to that. Self might be holding his minutes back a little bit. Do you think there's anything to that?
I think it's possible. I mean, listen, I think without him, they've played pretty well. And I think if they can learn to play without him, they got to learn how to play with him, but he's got to learn how to play with them. And if you watch that game, I mean, we just saw threes and there was no perimeter play. I mean, it was just all perimeter play. You got a really talented center and he barely touched the ball in this game. And it just was, I don't think the free fall approach to the offense is going to work. I still think you got to have some Bill Self basketball in there. You got to go to the post and you got to work the post. And they just didn't do that. And had they done that, White's been obviously, there's a couple of guys that have been Tiller's been a huge disappointment. I mean, he missed 3 or 4 layups in this game, and that's probably a KU win if he hits those. So I don't know. I think the basketball program's a mess. I think the football program's got some big question marks. So we'll see what happens with my beloved university. I'm not optimistic right now.
Wasn't that long ago, Travis Goff, I sat there and thought, this guy's hitting home runs everywhere he's going. He's got everything going right. And yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see, because Kansas basketball feels like a blue blood program that is struggling to find its footing in a new era. That's what it feels like a little bit right now.
They're kind of like Michigan State. There's a blue blood, but they're not as relevant.
Don't take anything away from my Cornhusker win there, Nick. Put that away.
I am not taking away. I love the Cornhuskers of basketball team. Don't get me. Don't go.
Nick Athens, cheesesplits.com. Nick, the regular season is over. Ended in a very fascinating finish.
That was the worst. That's the worst 2 minutes of the entire season for me. I'm like, what are you doing? You're throwing to Hollywood Brown for a 50-yard gain, and then you get a turnover. And I'm just like, I'm having to explain to my son. Sorry to interrupt. I'm having to explain to my 9-year-old why I'm rooting for the Chiefs to lose. He just couldn't grasp that.
Well, they get her done, and the Chiefs will have the top 10 pick when it's all said and done. I guess we'll start right there. Where do they go with that number 9 pick?
Well, I mean, obviously, the fans want Jeremiah Love, and I can't see Brett Veach taking a running back that high. Bailey from Texas Tech is probably the best pass rusher. Has a little bit of Derek Thomas in him. I think he needs to be a little bit more physical. I'm not 100% sold on him. Do they go nose tackle? Do they go safety? There's a lot of things that they can do. And I think it's going to depend a lot on what they get for Trent McDuffie when they trade him in the offseason. And he's definitely going to be traded. I think he's going to the Bucks. That would be my guess. There's an outside chance maybe he goes to the Titans, because I think Matt Nagy's got a pretty good chance of getting that head coaching gig there. But, Brett Veach has never been in this position before, and I think he's going to absolutely have to make the most of it. And I wouldn't be shocked if they trade out of the 9th pick either. But I think Love and Bailey, you have to look at 1 and 2 as the guys that can impact the roster the most. But I still think Breece Hall is going to be a free agent signing for the Chiefs. I think Damian Pierce is going to sign with the Chiefs to stay on. I think that's why they brought him in here, just to kind of get him used to the culture and get him used to things. But there's also going to be a new offensive coordinator in Kansas City, one with some teeth. So that's going to be an interesting how that plays out too.
Nathan, once again, our guest here on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on this Monday morning. The Denver Broncos get that number 1.
Thank God they did.
And they get it. And I was saying before we brought you on, the Broncos are, they're that number 1 seed, and it will be a challenge to go to Denver and win for any team in the AFC. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that, trying to beat it at Mile High?
Well, I think the only chance the Broncos have of going to the Super Bowl was getting the bye. I don't think they could have won 3 games. And I'm not saying they can win the Super Bowl, but they're going to be playing a really good football team. More than likely that's going to create some problems. They haven't really been in this position in 10 years to be relevant in the postseason. So I'm glad they got the home field advantage. I have not seen enough of their offense in the last month to sit here and go, yeah, they can put up 30 points in the playoffs. I think that's going to be the issue. This team reminds me a lot of the Chiefs teams that had a great defense and an okay offense, just enough to score points and let the defense win. But those guys the Broncos look tired to me the last couple of weeks. Especially defensively. So we'll see what happens. But I'm glad they got the bye week, and I'm slightly rooting for them, in this postseason, because I think it would be great for them to play well. It just adds to the Chiefs rivalry, and it's just going to taste really sweet when the Chiefs come back next year and kick their butts.
So funny that you bring this up. Listener Jared on our FNB Bank text line goes, first off, congrats to the Broncos. Earn the playoff spot. Enjoy it, because we'll be back next year. If you know, you know. That's what Jared says. He goes, second, maybe the Chiefs should hire Stefanski as their OC.
Oh, God, no. I don't want anything to do with this guy. Please.
Come on.
How is he a 2-time Coach of the Year with a
you weren't watching,
average
Nick.
record, and Andy Reid's won it once?
You weren't watching those years. He had it going those years.
He's a buffoon. Now he got the job.
Come on.
Oh, come on. What he did to Mayfield and how he brought in Watson.
That was Baker's shoulder was the conspirator in that one. Not
he turned out to be pretty good still. That's all right.
I mean, now he's going right back down, unfortunately.
Hey, he had a good 5-year run.
Nick, Jared also he had a question actually last week before I didn't get to, or actually before Christmas. Want to know about Brian Dable as an OC possibly.
Yeah, I think there's 3 possibilities you need to look at. I think Brian Dable is definitely one. Now, Brian wanted the offensive coordinator job when Andy came aboard, and Andy said, "See ya, out the door." So I don't know if there's any issues between the two. I think Cliff Kingsbury. It's my understanding he's going to be out in Washington this week. I think Cliff would be the perfect offensive coordinator and future head coach of the Chiefs. Mike Kapka, who was the interim Giants head coach, he'll be fired today. He's a possibility. He grew up in the Chiefs system. I think one of those 3 guys is going to be the offensive coordinator. Personally speaking, I'd like to see Cliff Kingsbury come in because obviously his relationship and the fact that he coached Patrick Mahomes in college, he's going to bring a different voice. It's not going to be quote unquote the Andy Reid system. There's going to be a melting pot. I can't believe I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it publicly. I think we're going to start to see a shift in Andy Reid. I think he's going to become more of a manager than a coach, and I think he's going to trust his new offensive coordinator to kind of run the ship and call the plays. And I think that's going to be a directive from above. I'm not 100% certain that Steve Spagnuolo is going to be back. I think he's going to be in the top 2 or 3 for the Giants job as well. And so there could be a lot of shift. Now, I think 5 or 6 coaches are definitely going to be gone, both sides of the ball. And I think you're going to see a massive, massive roster shuffle like we've never seen in Kansas City ever. So I think when you put all that together, Dable, to me, for what he did to Josh Allen to make him the superstar that he was, and I think Dable is 100% responsible for that. I kind of like him and Patrick Mahomes together.
Nick, I'll let you go on this one here. We're looking at the NFL playoffs, the wild card round. It's all set. What were your thoughts on the matchups here? And is there one that stands out more than the others, or is there a team that stands? There's one team that just fascinates me, but I'm curious what you think.
Yeah, the Chicago Bears fascinate me a lot. I think they're exciting to watch. I like them. I think the 49ers are going to upset the Eagles. I think the Bills are going to beat the Jags. I don't know why the Chargers wanted to be the last seed to go play the Patriots. I mean, why they threw that game yesterday, I have no idea. But to me, the team to beat in all of it is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. I think they're on a different level, emotionally, spiritually, physically. The NFL gods behind them. I just think they got everything rocking right now. I think they're the best team, top to bottom overall, offense balance, defensive balance, special teams, coaching stability. They proved all season long that they were winners. And that's going to be a tough out for anybody. I think Seattle has the best chance to win the Super Bowl, especially since the Chiefs aren't there.
No, they got a great physical running game, that's for sure.
Give me one of those three running backs. I don't care which one. Just put them on the Chiefs. Put them on the Chiefs team next year.
Happy. Why are the Bears so intriguing to you?
You know, they had the best coaching hire. I love Caleb. I just love his attitude. I just think I think you don't know what to expect with them. I think they're I think they're a well put together team. I think the addition of Joe Thuney in that organization has done a tremendous job of changing the culture. They just seem to always be in it at the end. They don't always win it, but that's probably not a team I want to face because they're the greatest unknown because they haven't been in this position in a while since Matt Nagy was there to be in the playoffs. And of course, that was Mitch Trubisky. So there's a little bit different quarterback. But to me, I would love to see the Bears and the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. I think that'd be great NFL theater. It would be good for the league.
I'm telling you, the team that fascinates me the most are the Jaguars. Because I'm just like,
I want to like them. I really do.
What is going on here? Why are the Jaguars? Why do they have 13 wins?
They don't make any sense.
Blows my mind.
And they put up a lot of points in the last few weeks, and so listen. Trevor Lawrence and Cohen have just kind of, they meshed together, and I didn't see that one coming. I mean, that victory over the Chiefs was their defining moment, and they could have gone two directions. They could have said, hey, we beat the big champs and we proved ourselves, but they went out there and they won that division, and it wasn't as easy as a lot of people thought it was going to be in the beginning. And they are playing great football. They are a dark horse. But I just think the Bills, if Josh Allen does not win the Super Bowl this year, he never will come close to it again.
Right.
This is it.
Yep.
No Jackson, no Burrow, no Mahomes, a 6 seed against a team that we all think eventually, like Jacksonville, except for you maybe, is going to implode. We don't know. They played pretty well last time they were in the postseason. So we'll see. But Liam Combs done a terrific job. I would love to. I think it would be fascinating for the league, but I can't see Buffalo losing this game.
So to me, it's the most fascinating game of wild card week.
It's the best. It's going to be the best game of the weekend.
Best weekend. Nick Athen, ChiefsBlitz.com. Nick, as always, thank you, my friend. Have a great week.
I will talk to you next week. Bye.
Once again, great stuff there from Nick Athen. We'll take our break, come back, and wrap up the show next with the leftovers. This is the Blitz.
Winter weather in northwestern Kansas can change in a hurry. From blowing snow and icy roads to dangerous wind chills, conditions can turn severe before you know it. When storms strike, turn to NWKS Radio, your trusted source for weather alerts and local coverage. Stay safe, stay prepared, and keep your radio tuned right here for the latest updates all winter long. Severe weather on NWKS Radio is courtesy of Roof Masters of Colby, along with Andrew Flanagan of Farm Bureau Financial Services.
New year? How about some new appliances at prices that leave room for those resolutions?
H&J Repair in Colby has great deals to kick off the new year in style. Out with the old, in with the affordable. Only at H&J Repair. Happy New Year from H&J Repair in Colby.
We've been serving ag families for generations because we believe farming isn't just a job, it's a legacy. Whether you're just starting out or expanding your operation, F&B Bank has flexible lending solutions designed for you. This is Loan Officer Kennedy Frank at F&B Bank. We're proud to be your hometown ag lender, member FDIC.
Kick off 2026 ready for whatever winter brings. At Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, they've got the gear to start the new year strong. Get organized with rugged storage totes. And when the snow starts falling, if it does, power through it with Ego and Craftsman snow blowers. Or if it's just the light stuff, blow it away with Ego leaf blowers. And don't forget ice melt to keep your sidewalk safe all season long. New year, winter ready. Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Helpful folks, trusted brands, and everything you need to get it done.
Hi, this is Amy Powell, COO of Goodland Regional Medical Center. I want to express my gratitude for choosing GRMC as your healthcare provider. Your health and well-being are our utmost priority, and we are committed to providing you with the best care possible. We look forward to a healthy future together.
The holiday season just got brighter at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Wrap up the year with 0% for 36 months on all 2026 Chevrolet Trailblazer and Equinox models. Or slide into a new GMC, 1.9% for 36 months on a 26 Arcadia, plus up to $7,000 in rebates on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation with Turbo Max with eligible trade-in. Big savings, big style, and big holiday cheer. Only at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Stop in today or visit online at hurlchev.com.
Whether it's touchdowns, home runs, or buzzer beaters, we've got you covered. It's the Morning Blitz.
Coming down the home stretch on a Monday program. Once again, glad you're with us here on the Morning Blitz, no matter which way you are listening or watching via the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. Thanks again to Nick Athen as well. Some high school basketball got going on Friday night. We talked about Colby boys with a dominant win thanks to 40 points from Jordan Jones over Larned, 75-51. Girls with a squeaker there, 36-35. Tell you, the girls have won a lot of close games this year.
They certainly have. I mean, that's been the theme of the season so far. We'll see if that continues.
Let's see. Hoxie swept Osborne. Wheatland Grinnell played Greeley County. Girls winning by 5 for Wheatland Grinnell. Greeley County boys winning by 4 over Wheatland Grinnell. And then you had Decatur Community sweep Logan Palco with a pair of pretty convincing wins there. JUCO hoops on Saturday. Colby Community College, a split. The Colby men beat Hutch 89-7. Hutch is having, I think, kind of a down year this year, but still a great win for Colby nonetheless. 4 different Trojans in double figures get their second conference win to the Trojan men. Colby women tied with Hutch entering the fourth quarter, but were outscored 14-5 the rest of the way, 64-55 the final they lose. And then 42nd Northwest men lose 76-74. They led with 3 minutes left, but didn't score a bucket the rest of the game. So that's tough to do. And then the 42nd Northwest women lose again to the number 1 ranked Lady Conks, 107-37. So a lopsided game that was. K-State dropped its Big 12 opener at Bramlage against BYU, 83-73. 3 of 21 from 3 is not going to get it done for Kansas State. A rare bad shooting night for them. PJ Haggerty did have 24 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, 4 steals. He did stuff the stat sheet. And then Colorado got a win over Arizona State to open Big 12 play, 95-89. With all that. Also, one more for college hoops. So you don't know this, Connor, but a young man, it's now been almost pretty much 5 years ago, by the name of Alan Mukeba, played for Colby Community College for 1 year. He has since gone to play at Kansas City, which is the home of the Roos, University of Kansas City, Oakland, and now he's at Arizona State, his third Division I program that he's at. He is a ferocious dunker. He got another one, a big-time flush earlier here in I should say this past weekend.
Oh, my gosh.
Left for pretty much the Big 12 logo in the floor in the center of the lane and just threw it down on some poor guy.
Jeez. It's a freak athlete.
Oh, he is an absolute freak. Alan Mukeba. He's actually gotten a little bit thinner. He was thicker built at CCC, but he is still a ultimate high flyer there. Wanted to show that dunk on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. Former Colby Community College Trojan Alan Mukeba there with that big time throwdown. And let's see here. We talked about Denver 19-3 winners over the Chargers. They're the number 1 seed, first time since 2015. First home playoff game in over a decade. And then Chiefs, once again, we talked about it, 14-12 losers at Las Vegas on a 60-yard field goal at the gun by Daniel Carlson. I'm sure a lot of Chiefs saying, just please get this over with. Please end this season. We're done with this year. We don't want to deal with this anymore. And also, of course, I can't forget about baseball. Royals signed manager Matt Cottrero to a new 3-year extension. So he has a deal through 2029 with an option for 2030. Gosh, it's hard to think about we're saying those years. It's crazy to say them. All right, let's get to the walk-off.
High drive, deep left, grand slam! And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Gray? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there! Hardman! Jackpot, Kansas City!
Anything in the walk-off before we get to the Blitz Bowl?
I think we got to get to the Blitz Bowl here.
Blitz Bowl tonight, 5:30 Central, 4:30 Mountain Time on FS1. Nebraska, Ohio State in men's college basketball tonight. How are you feeling?
I'm a little worried. We'll see if fans can actually pack the shot for once.
Oh, man,
but
we're going to show up.
The Ohio State Buckeye managers won the manager scrimmage last night, so
Oh,
over the Nebraska managers.
The Husker managers are atrocious.
I think. Hey, I don't know. We'll see what happens. They won 83-68.
I don't. They got beat by Michigan State by like 60 points.
I saw that.
It was bad. Interesting game tonight. I did not know Amari Bynum played for Ohio State.
He's awesome.
He is a Omaha kid, and he was recruited by Nebraska, and he turned and said, no, thank you.
And he went to the Buckeyes. He's a ball of energy. I love watching him play. He is the hustle guy Ohio State's been needing for years, and he goes after every loose ball. I love having him on the team.
Two things. Nebraska is not highly athletic, so if they're going to have to play really good defense against Bruce Thornton. But I think they want to actually, believe it or not, attack the paint tonight. I think they want to get into the paint as much as they can because Ohio State's not a great shot blocking team, so they got to get in there. And then also tonight, Nebraska wearing the throwback, I think early 90s, mid 90s uniforms. They're so sweet. I love them. They're awesome uniforms. So I'm stoked to see them on.
And
hopefully
to your point,
result in losses.
To your point about the shot blocking, it's funny because we have 2 7-footers, but both of them are not shot blockers. One of them, Ivan Yagovin, he's a cone and he can't move. And Tilly is he's a total finesse guy. He's shown some flashes every once in a while of shot blocking, but he's a passer and a scorer. He's not really a defensive guy. He can move his feet though, so he might be out there on the perimeter guarding rink mast.
We'll see. We'll talk about it again on tomorrow. Thanks for listening. It's been the Blitz.
Classic rock plays here. This is Rocket.